the simple fact that the idea is there is enough. Seeing Boise State make it to the college football playoffs, like we all seen that, and we all know that it's possible. So as long as we do what we're capable of right now and take each day, day by day, and put in the work now, when that time comes, we have a great opportunity as unique as anybody to make it to the 12-team playoffs.
Welcome back, or welcome to Y Option. I'm your host, Yogi Roth, as always joined by Jim Thornby. Both of us are rocking our Y Option hats. Go to yoption.com, get yourself a hat, get yourself some merch, and while you're there, take a listen to some of our recent guests. Christian Capel, full-on spring preview of Washington, the Huskies in year 2 under Jed Fish. How about Daniel Jeremiah? Jim, he absolutely crushed it. Draft preview, talking about his frosted tips. There's a lot there. Today, another man with great hair is Malik Murphy. That is our guest today. As always, our guests are presented by our founding partner, 76, keeping you in the know on the go, go, go. Now, Malik Murphy was an elite high school recruit. Big time, Elite 11 quarterback. That's where we first met. He and I will talk about that a little bit. He went to Texas. Then he went to Duke, where he thrived last year, in my opinion. Now he finds himself as a starting quarterback in Corvallis at Oregon State. So, B fans, Pac-12 fans, this episode is for you in that regard. We'll take a deep dive into Oregon State, Jim. Also, a deep conversation with Malik. He's just a beautiful soul. B fans, if you haven't met him yet, this is a perfect introduction to him. Go say hi to him after the spring showcase coming up in a couple weeks. But before we get into the weeds, Jim, Pac-12 football. What did we learn last year in the reshuffling of power conferences in college football?
Yeah, what I think we learned was, and I think the most important thing to take away from it was that while the path is hard, it's there's pretty much almost no margin for error. There is a path to the CFP for these schools because we saw it with Boise State, who will be in the Pac-12 in 2 years. When we were watching Washington State last year, and when they were really rolling, we were like, they have a chance. They have to win. They have to have a couple things go the right way, and then things kind of fell apart for them at the end. It was tough, but you can see like the math is there basically for no better reason than anything else. But when you look at Oregon State, like that for them last year was crazy, because I don't know if I've ever remembered seeing a team just hit by injuries as hard as they were. And it was a team that where you saw them early on, they were 4-1, and you're like, oh, they're doing pretty well. And then to finish 5-7, the first time they've had a losing season since the COVID year, which kind of throw that year out as well. But it was just a season that was tough. But I think they can take away from our goal can still be making the CFP. We've seen that, in the future, this is still something possible for us.
Yeah, and I think even we talked to Trent Bray when he, took the job, when the Pac-12 adjusted, and he was like, look, we're talking about we got an opportunity to go to the playoff. Like, if we handle business, we're going to go. And you could argue their path now, based just on the opponents they play, is a smoother path than it was when they were in the Pac-12, just based on who they played. I mean, it's just a fact. Now, granted, you got to navigate your roster. And I think year one for any coach, whether you're experienced at a new place, whether you've never been a head coach before, it's just different. It's something that you really can't prepare for. You really can't even describe. I had spent some time with Trent Bray in February. I went and hosted their signing day event. They call it the Rev, kind of revving fans up. It was awesome, Jim. I mean, it's sold out, 500 plus people, alums like Brandon Cooks, like elite alums in the room, as well as a bunch of players, including our guest, Maalik Murphy. But talking to Trent Bray about this team, it just feels as though like he's got his arms around the thing now in a different way, which makes total sense. You're navigating and you have a line in the sand where you could talk about this is who we are moving forward with a conference. This is what we're going to be in rev share, in NIL. Like Oregon State can go compete with any other power school in America. And I think it's just important to continue to hammer that home. Like they're a Power 4 school. Their league right now is one that's shifting as Teresa Gould has led and added more teams to it. And this year there's only 2 in the Pac-12. It's kind of a funky year in that regard. But they still have facilities. They have a fan base. They got this fresh stadium. I mean, and now they got an elite quarterback in Malik Murphy. Like, I can't wait to go watch this team play. And let's just pray, to your point, that they can stay healthy. One of the guys that I can't wait to watch stay healthy is a guy I got to also know at this event was Trent Walker, a wideout for them who, you know me, find me a slot wide receiver who makes plays, kind of looks like me. Like, I'm going to cheer for him all day long. That is Trent Walker. He's got a great story, too. He grew up just dreaming of going to Corvallis. And I think you think of Trent Bray, you look at Ryan Gunderson, they played there. Like, you've got guys fulfilling a dream. And now here comes their quarterback back to the West Coast, to a place where quarterbacks have thrived, have absolutely thrived. They've added the staff, Mike Cavanaugh, right? He ends up going back. A bunch of different people join this staff in 2025.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting, too, because in some ways, Oregon State and Wazoo have kind of flip spots from last year. Because last year, Oregon State had the brand new coach. This year, Wazoo has the brand new coach. Last year, Wazoo had the experienced quarterback in John Mateer. And now they're going to have, with Oregon State having Malik Murphy. I mean, Oregon State started 3 different quarterbacks last year, and it didn't go the way they wanted to. They combined for 7 passing touchdowns and 11 interceptions. And to the point we talked about before with just the injuries. I mean, Jam Griffin, when they had Jam Griffin and Anthony Hankerson as kind of the 1-2 combo there in the backfield, like, it was like, oh man, we might not be great at throwing the ball right now, but we can run it down everybody's throats. But then when Jam went out and the offensive line started getting some health issues, it really turned into a long season for that first, for Trent Bray in his first year there. But to your point, I think there'll be some new energy with the new staff and obviously the new quarterback. So I think there's reason to be excited about Oregon State this season.
Yeah, and I think also one other note for Trent Bray is Keith Hayward. He decided to step down and make a change in his life from being the defensive coordinator at Oregon State. Trent Bray says, well, let me do what I do best. If I'm in charge to drive the Maserati, like, let me sit in the front seat at least and handle it when it's on one side of the road. Like, I love that element for him coming back and doing it. I mean, think about it. It happens in college football, not everywhere, but we've seen this many times. The head coach calls plays. We just don't talk about it on defense. That's the difference, right? Whether it's Lincoln Riley or Jed Fish, you can go up and down college football and find a couple guys that have always called plays as the head coach. I mean, Ryan Day finally gave it up at Ohio State for Chip Kelly. Now he's giving it up again in Brian Hartline. But the point is that usually when you're a first-time head coach, like, you do what you do best for the most part. And I like that Trent Bray said, instead of going to get somebody out there that can go run this defense, even run my defense, I'm going to run it. I'm going to coach. This is what I do best. This is why you hired me. So I'm bullish on that being the right move right now for where this team is and where this defense is. And to your point of the quarterback, the last thing there with Malik Murphy, who will be our guest here in moments. How many people thought a year ago that Oregon State would be able to be in the market for one of the premier transfer portal quarterbacks? You probably weren't like saying 100%. Like, you saw it with DJ Uyunglele, and that happened when they were in the Pac-12, and that's what happened, right? That was Michael Penix Jr., that was Bo Nix, that was Caleb Williams. No doubt. That's just kind of every day that's what happens. But when the league shifted, there was definitely a sentiment of like, can they go get a premier signal caller? Or will they just develop a 3-star player or a good high school guy like a Sean Mannion, and then he'll kick out and go play somewhere else? Kind of like John Mateer did, kind of like Cam Ward did. And I think they flipped the script a little bit. They went out and got, and granted, it wasn't like the deepest portal market at quarterback in recent history, but Malik is a premier player at that position. They proved that their collective, their community, their program, their staff has all the things, 360 degrees, to be able to recruit and land one of the premier players at that position. So here's our conversation with one of those guys. This is a guy I've known since he was 16. I think Malik is a special young man. He's got a way where he can be magnetic. People are going to follow him. He's got that it factor we talk about here often. He walks in a room, people feel his presence, and he makes them better. I think he will make your ears better and make you even more excited for the season, especially if you're a Pac-12 fan or a fan of Oregon State. Here's our conversation presented by our founding partner, 76, with Oregon State quarterback Malik Murphy. As mentioned, a guy that I just loved watching grow, Maalik Murphy, smooth operator, Magic Man, is here with us now at Oregon State. Malik, thank you for the time. How is your day and spring football going, man?
Everything been going good. Hasn't really hit again yet. Our first practice back from break is tomorrow, so can't wait to get back with the guys. And just get back to practicing, getting better each day.
Amen. All right. Well, your story, there's a lot to unpack. So let's dive into it. I want you to go back to I think you're 14 years old to get your very first offer.
Yeah,
That probably seems like a lifetime ago for you, maybe
yeah.
multiple lifetimes ago. What do you recall about that day of a dream relatively becoming actualized?
So I was at USC doing a mass camp. I think that's what they call it. Like a mass, I guess, showcase. And I think 30 schools were there or something like that. And of course, I'm in eighth grade, or it might have been my freshman year. I honestly don't remember. And I threw pretty well that day. All my guys were there, my 7-on-7 team, and we all did pretty good, of course. But me being the kid that I was, trying to introduce myself to every coach that I saw, and Colorado State, I guess my impression stuck with them, and I got the offer at the end of the camp, and I just remember being super super excited that I could finally say I have a scholarship to go play at the next level. I always wondered how I was going to get there and be able to do it. Of course, I knew that I wanted to play in college. I just didn't know how it was done or how I was going to be able to do it. So knowing that, I officially had the opportunity, that was a great feeling.
It really was. And I think everybody has that moment when they get their first offer.
Yeah.
To me, what I don't often learn or glean from them is what they think they want to major in. I remember you had a conversation with your mom. Can you share with us what you
Yeah.
thought you might be majoring in?
So the conversation went a little bit, uh, it was actually quick. I told my mom I wanted to major in magic, and that was probably seconds after her asking me, what's my plans going to be once I get to college. Of course, I'm going to play football, but school wise, I got to do something with school. And I knew off the rip, like, oh, I'm a major in magic. I had been watching a lot of magic at that time, so that was an easy answer for me. And she kind of just looked at me and laughed, like, oh yeah, you can't do that. So figure something else out. But that's just one of those things, me not knowing, at a young age, not even thinking about the school portion of college. I just wanted to play football. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Well, look, I'll say this. Number one, and I've told you this before off the air, like my dear friend, former colleague, and just somebody I call family is Ted Robinson. He'll be calling some of your games.
Okay.
And I can't wait to hear him be like, Malik, Magic, Murphy. So he'll work it in. And that was the magician. There'll be
Yeah.
something. In addition to that, I do think a big part of magic is getting people to believe in something.
Mhm.
But before you can get anybody to believe in something, you have to believe in yourself first. I
Right.
met you at the Elite 11.
Yeah.
Right? We went to hot yoga together. We went to the beach together. We created a bond. You created tremendous bonds with 19
Yeah.
other quarterbacks that year. But it all begins, I believe, with your belief in yourself. When you got to that level, because you were a huge recruit, how did that impact you when other people were telling you how good you were going to be?
I think the biggest thing about that was having a good team behind me and having a good foundation to stand on to kind of stay level headed and grounded when it came to not getting to a point where I thought I was better than everyone else. You know what I'm saying? I knew I was pretty talented, but I also knew that it was a lot of work to be done. Being with Coach Danny, my quarterback coach, my mentor through all of this, and in regards of being a quarterback and being a leader of whatever team I play for. You know what I'm saying? He's helped a lot. He's been tremendous throughout this whole process, kind of just leading me in the right direction and putting me, surrounding me with guys that have been in my shoes before and that I can talk to and I can ask for help with anything. You know what I'm saying? We're just a big a big family. Team Dime is just a big family. So big shout outs to Coach Danny and everything that, he does for us and the other quarterbacks and my parents as well. I grew up tough when it comes to, the competitive level. Stories about me and my dad, me growing up, he was ruthless. Didn't take it easy on me at all. Didn't let me win a game playing basketball. Didn't let me win a game playing midget ball, playing on our knees, a little tackle football in the living room. It just, he made me get to a point to where even if I knew that I was good, I'm not good enough. It's always somebody out there that's, that could potentially be better. So I got to keep working. I can't get ahead of myself and, keeping that level head, of course. And my mom, shout out to her, of course, the female perspective of it all. She's there to comfort me, and she's even tough at times. Like she knows, like she's watched enough football now to know kind of what's right and wrong and how to look at things and process certain stuff. So it's honestly been great just going through this whole process and journey with those three main people.
Yeah, I love that, man. As I was preparing for this conversation, I went back and looked at an old photo, and you know what I'm referring to. It's this photo of like all of the Elite 11 quarterbacks on a beach together, locked arms. And to me, the one thing, and I'm going to paraphrase a quote from a dear friend, Chris Peterson, the former coach at Washington, Boise State, where he would always tell freshmen, the only thing I can guarantee you when you get to college is that your path is not going to go exactly how you envision it. When I look at all those locked arms and I see quarterbacks like yourself that are on our second, maybe even third school or didn't start day one on campus, like I think that is different than probably what your vision is when you arrive on a campus for the first time. How do you put into context your journey? Because it has, I would beg to guess that you didn't anticipate that you'd be on your third school heading into now your fourth season in college.
Yeah. I've never actually sat back and thought about a way to put it or explain it to others. I love it. I count it as a blessing. I chalk it up as a blessing. I always take things like with a grain of salt. Like, this is how it's meant to be. I'm just gonna make the most out of every opportunity, do whatever I can to, make this new place my home and not really focus on the past or worry about, the stuff that already came and went. But as regards to, kind of my journey, I'll probably say a rocky road, whether it's injuries or having to transfer or not playing right away or, throwing interceptions. Like, it's everything comes with adversity. It's just whether I could get up and get over that hump. And I know I can. I've done it multiple times. So, anything that's ahead of me that has adversity with it, I'm not even worried about. I know I'll be able to push past that.
Yeah, we always say here on the show that especially at the quarterback position, you have to have scars. You just have to. It's just part of it. You look at anybody who's found success at this position at any level. I even tell my son, he's a 10-year-old flag football quarterback.
Yeah.
He threw 2 pick sixes last weekend.
Yeah.
And he kept saying to himself, I suck. So now, like all week, it's just been positive affirmations of like, no, dude, you get to go again. You get to go again. For you, you had statistically and even wins and losses had a really impressive season last year at Duke.
Right.
It surprised definitely me when I was like, oh, he's transferring again. And then you're coming back west, which is awesome. And it's in Corvallis, a place that I love just absolutely dearly. What led to you saying, I want to come back to the West Coast and I want to go to one of the most gorgeous and unique college towns, I think, in all of college football?
Well, I haven't talked about it much, but, the people that do know kind of just know that it wasn't my choice to, leave Durham and Duke. So it was just one of those things that, I had to move on and kind of make my next move, my best move. And it so happened to be here. And I'm happy to be here. Honestly, everything's been going great. The people here are great. Love the coaches, love the players. Atmosphere has been great besides a little rain here and there. I'd rather dry weather, but other than that, it's been a wonderful ride so far. So I just can't wait for fall to come.
I think in athletes' careers, you always remember your coaches that you've had, right? You
Yeah,
think back to you in youth, you reference whether it was Danny Hernandez, whether it was your Pop Warner flag football coach, like you've had a bunch of them.
yeah,
I think it's so unique of where you sit now in Corvallis. You have Trent Bray, one of the youngest coaches in America. Ryan
mm-hmm.
Gunderson is a dear friend of mine, your offense coordinator, quarterback coach. What is it like having that youthfulness, that energy, that competitive temperament every day when you
Yeah.
walk into that facility?
It's super funny, actually. We have great vibes here, especially in the quarterback room. I love those guys, Cal, Bari, and I haven't talked to the quarterback that's coming in yet much, but I'm sure he'll love it as well. But being around those two that you mentioned, Coach Gundy and Coach Bray, has been great. Honestly, I could talk to them any day, anytime, call them up, text them. They're like one of us for the most part. You know what I'm saying? They're for the players, they're for the guys, and they want to do anything that they can to help you. And I think I'm able to connect with them, pretty easily because they're both West Coast guys. I think Coach Bray's from like Pullman or something like that, and I think Coach Gundy's from Oregon, and they're just super cool dudes. They're pretty laid back, relaxed. Coach Bray kind of gets a little when it's time for football, but other than that, I love being around them.
I think to play at Oregon State, I think back to my time. I played against Oregon State a couple times in bowl games when I was,
Mm-hmm.
this is like pre you were even born probably, man, which is just sad to say out loud. But the team's always had a chip on the shoulder. I think that's just always been a culture in a really healthy way of like, let's go, like, welcome to the fight. Like, come on, let's go. We're going to lock
Yeah.
the gates at Reser Stadium and we'll tell you when we let you out. You haven't been there even 6 months yet. You're midway through spring football. What have you learned about Oregon State and the community and the culture and the fan base that has become a part of your personality?
I'll say that you you immediately get a feel of how much of a family it is here just based off of the staff. Coach Bray went here. Coach Gundy went here. Um, Coach Lang's our offensive senior analyst. Like he was the coach here for 10 years. Our O-line coach, he coached here for 10 years with Coach Lang. Like there's so much history like within our staff and familiarity like around the facility and just around campus that, you kind of get the feel that this must be a great place if all these guys are coming back. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things that I kind of just can't wait to experience and be around and see all the fans once the time comes, like the spring game. Hopefully, get to see a lot of people show up and kind of just be around and take it all in. Honestly,
Mike Cavanaugh, Danny Langsdorf, absolute legends
yeah,
in
yeah,
the old Pac-10, let alone the
yeah.
transition to the Pac-12. Speaking of, it's the last year of like this unique element in the Pac-12, but there's a
Mhm.
path, right? I think when the Pac-12, obviously adjusted, people thought, oh, the two teams that are left, Washington State and Oregon State, they're not going to have a road to the playoff. I think this last year proved that there is a path to that. I
Mhm.
wonder with you guys in this offseason and now in spring ball, like, are you talking that way? Like, do you talk playoff or is it just the next, 24 hours in front of us, the 20
Yeah,
feet in front of us? Like, how are you navigating the bigger picture of potentially a
yeah.
tremendous season for all of you?
It's all of the above. Honestly, just the simple fact that the idea is there is enough. Seeing Boise State make it to the college football playoffs, like we all seen that, and we all know that it's possible. So as long as we do what we're capable of right now and take each day by day, and put in the work now, when that time comes, we have a great opportunity um, as unique as anybody to make it to the 12-team playoff. So, of course, it's exciting. I feel like we have a special team. There's a lot of experience in the back end on defense. I have a lot of experience on offense. There's guys that's played a lot of football in general. Just like it's football. At the end of the day, it's football, and it's all going to come down to how bad we want it and how much work we're willing to put in to get there. So that's all
Yeah.
it is.
I love that phrase. It's football.
Yeah.
I'm often, I think I've shared this story with you. I call it the wonder switch,
Mm-hmm.
where athletes, when you walk into Research Stadium for the first time, you have this sense of wonderment. Ooh, then your imagination is like, I could see myself make plays here.
Right.
And then at some point in every athlete's career, I believe that switch that gets turned off. And it's usually
Immediately.
whether it's social media, a coach, an experience, a bad game, whatever, but it's on us as the athletes to turn it back on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious for you if that's true. Like, how have you been able to turn that back on for yourself? And like, where's your joy at in terms of playing? Well, you just said playing football. Like, where is that right now, 1 to 10, with your time at Oregon State thus far?
Oh, it's at an all-time high. And honestly, as far as the kind of turning the switch off and on, I don't think it ever turns off. Like if you really truly love this sport and you like really enjoy being around it and playing it, like it's on all the time. I was at home this past week for spring break, and of course everybody, you go on break and you want to relax. But we're still working out, still getting better, and you're still thinking about in a couple of days, I'm gonna be back at school. I'm gonna be right back on that field, getting it in with the guys. Like I want to be prepared for that. I want to be able to, go out there and show I haven't been slacking. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things that if you're really dedicated to it, that's where the joy is. The fun comes from putting in the work with the guys, and then at the end of the day, going out there and succeeding on the field. So you do. Actually those visualizations come to reality and you see yourself making those plays and you actually feel that joy when the time comes. So.
That's very well said from a man who's got a ton of sageful wisdom. I believe in this. I believe in the quote, praise and blame are all the same. And I think it takes quarterbacks a couple years in the environment we live in now to own that and wear that, right? I referenced scars earlier. Yeah. So where are you now?
Mm-hmm.
You referenced your experience. Like, what do you bring to this locker room? Because you've dealt with praise. I was there with you. You've dealt with blame. You alluded to it. How do you navigate that? And how can you bring a seasoned voice that is competing with joy to the locker room that you sit in now?
It all comes down to being yourself. I think I'm pretty authentic as a person. I'm not really the type of guy that tries to be somebody that I'm not. And I think we're at the level of this playing field that you see straight through guys that are trying to be someone that they're not. So me coming into the locker room and just being me, I think the guys appreciate that. They're able to gravitate towards me, and whether you potentially like me or not, I think you respect me, like as a teammate, as a partner to work with. Like everybody knows, I want the best for us. Like it's not about me. I want the best for us, and however that comes off, whether we get it in and I'm yelling, or I'm pull you to the side, talk to you. Like at the end of the day, it's all for a better reason. So I definitely feel like me being authentic and kind of just uh, being me out there, that's all I have to do. That's all I have to do.
We connected around signing day in early February in
Mm-hmm.
Portland at an event called the Rev. We were kind of revving it up for the season. It was standing room only. I mean, it was a packed house. I do a lot of these events, man, and I don't know if I've seen a crowd like that.
Mm-hmm.
When you were on stage with me, we talked about football, we talked about adversity, we talked about things that you just referenced. We also talked about desire to be a broadcaster one day. We
Yeah.
talked about a desire to create a fragrance line one day.
Right.
Like, where are you off of the field in your life, having been to so many different places and connected to so many people who now at Oregon State want to help you and make these dreams realities at some point in your future?
I'll admit I'm slacking right now. When it comes to all the off-field stuff, I'm slacking. Honestly, I
There's a
haven't.
dial.
I haven't made any connections yet with people that kind of have the same interests as me in regards to like fragrances or being a broadcaster. I've just been all football at the moment, trying to get this down pat first, so I could be good at this part before thinking about everything else. So
I
that
love
time
that.
will come. Hopefully, it's later than sooner.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the deal. Your spring game's going to come up. Fans are going to be able to come.
Yeah.
All those fans that have a connection to the sports media industry, I'll be one of them. In addition to the fragrance industry, I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
Come up to Malik after the game and after the scrimmage, after the showcase, spend some time with them and make sure you guys can build that connection, because you are right. You got to keep the main thing right now. Before we cut you loose here, man, I do want to touch upon one of my favorite core memories. Coming up on year 18 at Elite 11 and doing hot yoga next to you at Hermosa Beach. Still is one of the most joyful experiences I have had in my time.
Not me. Yeah.
No, you killed it.
Yeah. I think I would have enjoyed it more if I didn't start to compete with the older women in front of us. Like, yeah, I didn't understand like how they were 65, 70 years old, killing us. Like, they were killing us. We were drenched in the back, didn't know if we'd make it. Telling the instructor to kind of like pour water in there or cool it down somehow. Like, it was ridiculous. It was definitely one of the hardest things I've done in my life. I kind of want to go back to redeem myself one of these days. But yeah, it was fun. I will say it was fun, and of course, going to the beach after, like the whole experience was pretty cool. I hope I'm able to go to one of the Elite 11, events to kind of just pop up and talk to all the guys.
Yes, come on through. It's going to be later on this summer. The dates will come out pretty shortly. So if you get the time off from a workout, come hang out. We'll go do a yoga session. We'll talk to Shalon, the owner of Hot Yoga LA. And instead of maybe doing 90 minutes, maybe we'll do 60. And we'll make it cut a little shorter and make it fun for him, man.
We got to bring Coach Stump, too. He snuck out of it. We got to.
Oh, yeah, we do. That's a call out to you, Brian. That's right. Hey, I want to say this before I let you go, man. I mean this sincerely. When we left that yoga studio, you and I walked to the beach together and we talked about everything other than football. And I think I got a glimpse into your soul and a glimpse into who you are, the essence of you. And you're just a beautiful young man on every level. You got such depth and breadth to you. It was so cool meeting your mom at the event with Oregon State. And I'm just thrilled for you, man, because I know you make every environment better. Like, you're an illuminator. And I can't wait to root for you. Listen to Ted Robinson say something around the magician. Something will come out in the broadcast as he's calling those games, man. And just a huge fan for you here at Y Option and for myself and all of us at Elite 11, man. So best of luck. The Pac is rooting for you. And I know so many other people here in LA are as well.
I appreciate you, Yogi, always.
Got it, man. There it is. Malik Murphy, smooth operator at quarterback. That's right. Diving right back into spring ball. Thanks, man. Peace.
No doubt. Thank you.
It's the Afterglow. Jim Thornby, Yogi Roth. That was Maalik Murphy. Big thanks to our founding partner, 76, keeping you in the know on the go. Malik has been on the go. He went from LA at Sarah to Texas to Duke and now to Oregon State. I love it. I'm so happy for him. Jim, I'm curious for you. This is the first time you really spent some quality time with Malik. What were your takeaways?
I mean, I was just blown away by his maturity and his personality. I mean, he was, easily able to talk about, or as easy as it can get, what happened with him at Duke and, coming on to Oregon State. And I think that part of it, that maturity level that he's going to bring the team is going to be such a huge bonus. And it's funny too, because you talked a lot about, the Elite 11 experience with the two of you. So Oregon State this season opens up the year with Cal, which will have another one of that Elite 11 group's quarterbacks in Devin Brown. So both of them, both West guys from the West Coast in high school, went away to school and now coming back to play in an Oregon State Cal game, which if you would have told them when they were in high school that it would be Oregon State and Cal opening up the season and it would not be a Pac-12 game, they would be like, what? So that's kind of the culmination of all of these storylines from college football the last few years.
That's so good. And at the time, at Elite 11, I believe Devin was committed to USC. So, of course he was. Yeah. And then Jackson Dart signed at USC, and now we're talking about Jackson for the draft. If you need some draft coverage, check out the most recent episode with Daniel Jeremiah. If you want some swag, like Jim and I didn't plan this. It just happened to, what's a good hat? Throw it on, yoption.com. And if you're looking for just insightful, thoughtful content in college football, especially all you Beef fans, we really pride ourselves on being thoughtful, but also being a voice for teams on the West Coast, let alone the whole country. I'm heading out to Columbus in a couple of days here to call their spring game on the Big Ten Network, but we also have touch points into the West Coast, which is a huge reason why we wanted to bring Malik Murphy on. So big thanks, big love to everybody at the Pac-12, Sean Scheffler at Oregon State, Malik for his time, Jim and our team and Vic on the edit. Stay safe, stay steady, enjoy some spring football. Peace.